Hey guys, it's Nikki, and welcome back to the Nikki Mungues Show, where I help inspire you to improve in all your walks of life by interviewing so many inspirational people. And today I have a very, very, very special guest. She is the owner and practitioner at Valley Allergy and Wellness, and I cannot wait for us to know a little bit more about her story and what inspires her to become where she's at right now. So let's bring on Miss Deborah on the stage.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Nikki.
Of course. Thank you for being on my show today. I'm so happy and I'm so excited to interview you.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's my first one, so I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, man. Well, first of many. So, I have been following you, you and I connected with through Mafe. And I just love what you do, right? I look at your page and you're just so passionate about, how helping other people. But, let's take it back a couple chapters before you even opening up your practice, because I feel like there was just this one event that I saw that truly inspired you to, really open up your own practice and do what you do. So let's talk about what really got you into owning your own business in this field.
Yeah, so my interest with holistic health really began with my mom's cancer diagnosis in 2006. So I was about 19, 20 years old. And my mom really chose to do a more holistic approach to her treatment. So she looked into this local, he like a local health food store. He also runs like a detoxification program. So it was a 10-day whole body cleansing and detoxification program that he does with fasting, herbs, fresh juices. Later on, they incorporate raw vegetarian foods and other modalities like sauna, massage, exercise. And there's also a teaching element to the program based on the work of Charlotte Gerson, who's known for using nutritional therapy to heal the body of cancer and other chronic diseases. So seeing my mom go through this healing transformation, that kind of gave me this, kind of just sparked the interest. And she went through the program herself. And when she was done, she was like, you have to come with me and you have to do this with me. And I was like, I have no interest in doing that. I don't want to be there for 10 days. I don't want to starve myself. I just was not interested at all, but she pleaded, she begged me to go. So I was like, all right, I'll just go. You're paying for it anyways. So it's a free 10-day spa vacation type thing is how I was going to look at it. So I went and I just was fascinated with the healing transformation of the people around me, how I was feeling myself. And that's really what kind of shifted my perspective on treating illness. And it really challenged my view of medicine and our current medical system. So before my mom got sick, I actually got accepted into San Jose State's occupational therapy program. So that was what the route that I was planning to go. But because my mom got sick, I had to defer and to, just spend some time to take care of her. And by the second detoxification program that my mom did, there were no more traces of cancer in her blood work. And her health was pretty stable for a few years. So with that in mind, I was like, all right, I'm shifting gears. I think this is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue. So I ended up getting a degree in holistic health. And the goal at the time was to open up my own office as a health consultant. But life happened. My husband proposed to me. We wanted to get married. We've been together for 23 years now. So I've been with him since 15. So we were ready to get married. So got married, he proposed. I'm like, okay, now I need a job. I need a job to pay for this wedding. So that got me into government work. Both my parents were in government work. And for Asian parents, that's like the ultimate job, right? Like you've got a pension, you've got a lot of benefits. So they really encouraged me to get a state job. So I ended up staying with the state for 14 years. That helped me, helped us both purchase our first home, new car, grow our family through international adoption. So that's what kept me there for so long. So I will say, though, that majority of the time that I was there, I wouldn't say that I really enjoyed what I did.
Mm,
And a part of me just could not stand that. Like, I wanted to be passionate about my work. I
right.
wanted to love what I did, and I wanted it to be purposeful and fulfilling. So fast forward to January of 2022, I apply for this new position, and I'm totally convinced that the last 10 years of my work in software support have pretty much led me up to this point.
Mm,
And that, it's leading me up to get this position, because once I get this position, I'm going to be set. I'm going to be able to retire at 55. I won't have to interview for any more positions. I'll be set. And I was so close to getting this job. And the plans fell through, and I was devastated. And I was so confused, so confused, because again, I had convinced myself this is the path God had laid out for me.
right.
And, at the time I just prayed. I prayed a really dangerous prayer. And I said, Lord, if this isn't what you want for me, show me what is. Whatever it is that you want me to do, I will do it.
Right.
And, said that prayer. Fast forward to May. The day I turned 36, it was on my birthday, is when everything kind of started to come to a head. I was under a lot of stress at work, and it created this mounting anxiety to where I was crying every day. I didn't want to go to work. And what I ended up doing was taking majority of that month off to deal with that anxiety. And it was really during this period that I started wrestling with God. And two of my friends at the time were telling me, you need to take a break. You are burnt out. You just need to take care of yourself and just trust God with the rest.
Right.
And so, what made it so hard was the fact that quitting my job wasn't even an option on the table. And so as, my husband and I are talking, as we're praying through it, I'm like, I think the option we have to at least put the option on the table and at least commit to praying about it.
Right.
And so we did that. A few weeks went by, and I was home processing everything, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, looking at our finances, seeing if it was even feasible for me to be off. And I ended up going back to work for a few days before a vacation, where I would be off for the rest of the month. And my boss sends me this email. And I won't go into the details of the email, but because it's not really important, but it was this confirmation that I don't need to be doing this anymore.
Right.
So I ended up putting my resignation in for the following month. And to be honest, I didn't even have enough faith to dream big or believe for something different. I just had that little mustard seed of faith to know that he was going to take care of us.
Exactly.
And that was enough. That was enough to take that leap. So now fast forward to June 22, that's when I quit my job. And honestly, I thought I was just going to be off for a few months, spend the summer with the kids, and then actually go back to looking for a job with the state. But I started to read this book by Pastor Stephen Furtick called Greater, and it basically talks about igniting God's vision for your life and dreaming bigger. So that got me dreaming again. So I was trying to think about the things that I loved. And if anybody knows me, they know that I love cats. I love animals in general, but I especially love cats.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, what could I do with that? And I was like, well, what would I want for my cats? And I was like, well, I would really like a boutique hotel for when we travel. So I was like going down this thought of, okay, I'm going to open up a boutique cat hotel. So I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to do that, I actually got to fix my cat allergy. So, my love for cats runs. I'm willing to have 2 cats in my house and have an allergy. So I had actually heard about BIE through my chiropractor, and the closest BIE practitioner to me was in LA. So I actually booked a trip.
Real quick,
Yeah.
BIE is what again?
So BIE stands for bioenergetic intolerance elimination.
Oh, okay. So is that kind of like the holistic part to like remove to help people with allergies? Because I've never heard of it.
Yeah. So that's the process of getting your body balanced to whatever is causing you stress or any negative symptoms.
So an allergy basically is like a stress in your body that
Mhm.
rejects it, correct?
Yeah, I would consider like an allergy in the most simple terms to be something that your body doesn't recognize that's launching an immune response.
So there is hope to like backtrack and fix
Yes.
it. Oh my
Yes,
God. Okay,
absolutely.
well, tell me more about this cat allergy because I have cat allergies too.
Yeah, so I brought my cat's fur. You can bring your pet's fur. It could be dog, cat, rabbit, whatever animal you're allergic to. You bring it to your practitioner and they put it on the machine and they balance you essentially for that animal. They introduce the frequency of your pet's fur back to your body so that it's recognized and no longer has a reaction.
How long does that process take?
We say between 1 and 4 sessions. So it really depends on the person.
But what exactly happens though? Like I know, okay, the whole process, but I want to know exactly what happens like in a like I wouldn't say procedure, like a session.
So we start out by addressing, your current symptoms. So what exactly is, causing your symptoms? We kind of narrow it down depending on
Right.
what you want to work with. If it's seasonal allergies, whether it's maybe fatigue, headaches, depending on what that is, then we can narrow down what I actually need to test you on. So
Mm.
let's just say we're working with seasonal allergies or pet allergies. So we'll start with, testing you for plants, pollens, grasses, molds, things like that. And what we have in our office are energetic frequencies. They're encapsulated in vials. So the vials contain just water, alcohol for sterility, and the energetic frequency of that substance. So how we test is all through muscle testing. There's no pricks or scratches at all. It's completely non-invasive. And basically when we hold a substance, it doesn't even have to necessarily be the vials that we use. But let's just say you have a dairy intolerance. You can't have milk. If we hold a cup of milk to your arm and we test your muscle, we test the strength of that muscle, it'll actually show up weak because your body doesn't recognize it.
Right, right.
So
That
once we determine what you're allergic to or what you're intolerant to, that's when we can then say, all right, we're going to put this on the machine and introduce those frequencies back to your body so that then your body can determine whether or not it's truly harmful. Because milk, things like grasses, plants, pollens, cats, peanuts, generally are not harmful for most people. Peanuts has become
I
more of a
know.
popular thing. So
Yeah, like the reason why I got so intrigued because like I want to know I was like allergies because I know allergies is not just seasonal allergies. Like it could be for cats, it could be, but for me, I have a peanut and a whole seafood allergy.
mm,
And I'm like researching. I was like, is it like am I gonna, die and not taste like a lobster? Like, I'm never going to like have seafood ever in my life before, but I didn't know that through what you do through that BIE, it's possible for your body to adapt to it. And I think so many more people need to know about what you do because I feel like you can save so many more lives with what you do.
yeah, it's really, I see it as more of a root cause solution for a
Yeah.
lot of chronic issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to get off track.
No,
So
that's
with the
okay.
cat, so you got your cat tested, or you got tested for your cat, and then you got that figured out. And then did what happened next, like with the whole cat hotel?
Yeah, so that was kind of my first introduction to BIE, and I just was so fascinated by the process, fell in love with the technology because it's so simple that I just knew, okay, I have to learn more. And I started thinking like, maybe I could do this, maybe I can become a practitioner. And, of course, the doubts start to creep in. And I just had this ongoing debate in my mind for 2 weeks, whether or not I could do this. And I think God was like, all right, this girl is not going to move unless I intervene. So I ended up, after this 2-week period, I ended up having this dream. But I don't remember anything about the dream. But I remember waking up with so much peace and just this knowing that this is what I have to do. And from there, I went back to school, took a few classes, got my license, and ended up opening up my practice. And God did that all within 6 months.
Wow.
So that's how I know the hand of God was all over my story, because that just doesn't happen. It went from, June, quitting my job, July, finding BIE, going back to school in August, November, going to Canada, getting trained, getting licensed, January, opening up or signing the lease to my office.
That's crazy. I just commend you so much, because I put God first. And when you run a business, I feel like the older that I'm getting, the more I put my trust and my faith in the Lord. And, when you're younger, I was like, what is that? Why are people so, why do you have to have so much faith? But it's really, the reason why you're at your position right now is because you've been praying for it. You were asking for God's guidance. It wasn't just you. Like, God was like your co-pilot.
Yes.
And every single person that you touch that goes into your clinic, right? You have, like, God is your business partner. And so that's what I truly, I commend you for that. And I love how you put it out there that God is truly the real reason why I'm where I'm at right now. Because guess what? Yes, you can have so much knowledge. Yes, you can be the richest person. Yes, you're super successful. But at the end of the day, like, all the credit is going to go to God. And, I'm just so grateful that we're having this conversation right now, because God, put us here together, and he's going to get you to the next level of your business. He's going to get you more clients. But, I did have a question to go back with your journey, right? I kind of want to go back to when you said you went to this event with your mom, right? And you went to, it was like, I don't know, she invited you somewhere, and then you said something clicked. What exactly happened when it clicked? Like, did you see like certain procedures, or did you just see your mom just like get well? Because that is, we're talking about root, right? That is the root of your story. And I feel like whoever is watching this, I hope you guys get inspired to just go out there and try stuff, because you never know. So I want to know, what clicked for you?
Yeah, so it was a detoxification program, and there was, I believe, a total of 12 people there, including myself and my mom. And so all of us are having this shared experience. We're fasting, we're drinking seawater, purging, literally purging. People were passing, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of diverticulitis, but it's basically like hardened fecal impacted feces, essentially. So everyone's just super comfortable with each other. Everyone's like showing each other, like, look what I just passed. And like, people are just becoming so rejuvenated, so revitalized. They're getting off medications. And it's all just being done naturally. So I was just like, wait a minute, there's a different solution out there than what doctors are offering. And, there's a time and place for medicine, but right now medications are overprescribed. They don't have real solutions. They just have solutions for your symptoms, but those inadvertently cause other symptoms, right? So yeah, I was just really just blown away by just how much the body itself could do in terms of healing.
Right. I love that. And I love how you're like, you ended up being open-minded. You ended up being open-minded because that's where you really, that was the root of it, right? And so let's talk about, so you open up your practice. Okay, you had that mustard seed of faith, at least, right? So 6 months. How? Why? Like, 6 months, that's half a year. you open up your practice. How did you do it?
Oh my gosh, a lot of prayer, a lot of faith. Honestly, I did not even expect it. I really didn't. Like I said, I thought I was still going to go back to work for the state.
Mm,
And I think what has impacted me so much and what makes me so passionate about dreaming big and believing for more is the fact that God can really do more than you can ask, think, or imagine. I never expected to find something like this. And it suits me so well. Like, I'm so happy to come to work every day. I'm so happy with each and every client. I'm so happy to help them and just be on this journey with them. And again, it's not something that I would have even been able to envision for
right,
myself.
right.
So really all God.
That's so awesome because in 6 months, there's so much. I truly feel like there's so much fear that people have,
Yeah.
right? The fear of, am I gonna fail? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. But you took that leap, you took that faith. So I want to talk about how business has been going and what types of treatments you exactly do, because you never know who might see this, right? And you're based out of where? You're based up north, correct?
Yes, I'm the only practitioner here in Northern California. So
Wow.
there's three of us total in California, two in Southern California, me in Northern California. But I just counted throughout all of the United States. So there's only 16 practitioners in the United States. So I'm one of 16.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. And there needs to be more of us. There
There
really does.
has to. But while we are here and we're talking about what you do, so yeah, if I were to pitch something to somebody who is suffering from asthma allergies,
Yeah.
okay, or just allergies in general, sorry, um, how could I describe to them what exactly you do, and what would the process be? Because let's say I have someone who has a pollen allergy, right?
Mhm.
Just to sum it up, how would you pitch somebody to get a consultation with you?
Yeah. So when we actually talk about an allergy or an intolerance, again, it's in very simple terms, something that your body isn't recognizing that's triggering that immune response. And so what I explain to all of my clients is, how do we develop these allergies and tolerances in the first place? And it really boils down to stress. So when your body is stressed, it doesn't understand what is causing that stress. So anything you're eating, you're drinking, you're breathing in, even hormones or enzymes that your body is producing at that time can all be subject to your body saying, I don't know what that is, so I'm going to block it. So in the future, when you come in contact with that substance, your body kind of lets you know that you've come into contact with something that isn't right for you, isn't healthy for you. Really underneath our awareness, our bodies are always looking to see if we are safe or if we're in danger. And one of its main jobs is to protect us, which is why we have an immune system. So this makes a lot of sense for someone who didn't have an allergy or intolerance to a certain food or a certain pet or, pollen or grass or whatever. They may have been consuming a certain food for years, but now they're suddenly having a reaction to this food. So
Right. That
times it's
happened.
related to stress. Yeah. Or overconsumption or overexposure. So, and when we talk about stress, it doesn't have to be the type of stressful event that's like, oh my gosh, like I got to rush to the hospital because my mom or my loved one is there. It could be just dehydration. It could be lack of sleep. It could be going on a roller coaster, because even though that's fun for us, it's a stress to your body.
So you said stress can be being dehydrated and having lack of sleep.
Yeah, that's a stress to your body.
Wow. Okay. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, then when it comes to explaining what it is that I do, we'll do the testing. And again, it's all done through muscle testing. We determine, okay, what specifically is triggering your symptom? And then, we determine, what does your body want to work with? So I actually should go back and say that there's an element to this where we actually ask your body, what is the highest priority? So when I actually went down to LA to work on the cat allergy, My body didn't want to work on that. It wanted to work on hormones and other sleep issues that I was having at that time. That was a higher priority for me. So that's all a part of, you know, an initial appointment, determining, okay, what are the stressors, but what are the highest priorities to fix right now? Because your body has an order of operations, so to speak. There is a higher priority sometimes than what you want.
Right.
So, yeah, so we, you know, determine what the stressors are, and then we use the machine. So the machine is the GSR 120.
Right.
And what it does, it has a plate on the top of it. And so anything we put on top of that plate, it runs an electrical current through it, and it translates it into electrical impulses, which we then introduce back to the body. So we're taking the frequency of whatever you're reacting to, whatever is, you know, causing a stress to your body, and we're reintroducing that frequency back to your body. So then your body can then say, is this truly harmful for me, or is it not? So your body, sorry, go ahead.
Is it painful?
No, it's like painless. That's what's amazing about it, is you don't even, most people don't even feel it. But if you do feel it, it's usually like a light tingling.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, no, that's crazy to me. But how is that why some people tend to outgrow allergies too? Like their body automatically determines what a priority is in their system?
Well, the body has a really, you know, huge capacity to heal itself. But given our day and our age, where we're dealing with so much stress, toxins in our food, the air, products that we're using, you know, our body has a lot to deal with. So it's really prioritizing, you know, getting rid of those toxins. So sometimes things, you know, it doesn't have the ability to deal with these other things. But really, it's about just getting your body into balance. So another thing that I explain to people is that your body is like a computer. You've got your hardware, which is like the skin, bones, organs, everything you can touch, see, and feel. But you also have this software, right? So it's this invisible essence that kind of runs everything within your body. Right. So what we're doing is we're really working with your body's software when it comes to BIE. So, you know, your brain, it speaks to every organ and tissue in the body using electrical impulses. Your cells speak to each other using electrical impulses. So when we're using, you know, when we're using BIE, when we're using the GSR 120, we're speaking in a language that your body understands. So, you know, you have a lactose issue, you have a dairy intolerance, right? So, okay, let's get your body to recognize dairy. But how do we do that? We can't just tell ourselves, don't worry, it's dairy, it's just milk, you won't die, right? So we have to speak in a language that it can understand. So by introducing the frequency of milk, right, using the machine, then your body can say, that's milk. And it has the capacity to, again, heal itself.
And that happens in like 3 to 4 sessions, right?
So on our initial appointment, we do the testing, we determine what your stressors are, we determine what are the highest priorities, and then we do the balancing within that same session. So it can take between 1 and 4 sessions for your body to normalize to a particular stressor. And this just depends on the person's hydration levels, stress levels, toxic load, you know, their immune system. So it's just a variety of factors that we have to take into consideration, which is why we say 1 to 4.
Okay. What is your most common, I wouldn't say like situations or cases that you get in your practice? Like, do you get a lot of food? Do you get a lot of pollen, like seasonal?
Yeah, I get a variety. Lately, it's been, of course, a lot of seasonal allergies. I do have a lot of clients with eczema and psoriasis. And then I have a lot of clients who are just dealing with a lot of chronic inflammation. So those are a little bit more challenging because we have to find out what the triggers are.
Right.
Yeah.
So
another one that's popular too is fatigue or headaches. So depending on where your headache is, it will tell me what specifically your body needs. So for example, the back of the head, if you have a headache in the back of your head, that's usually related to potassium. Your body is not recognizing and utilizing potassium properly. If it's on the top of the head, that's usually like barometric pressure. Sides of the head is usually like an insulin issue. So depending on what the person brings me is where I'll determine what I need to specifically test.
That's so awesome. Like, it's so awesome to learn more about this because my questions that I sent you were so irrelevant now. I was like, so if anybody's watching this, I asked her, so what are your advices, for seasonal allergies? But it's like, really, your advice is to get a consultation with you. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. I'm learning so much, and it's so good to like have this conversation on this podcast because I want to educate other people. You guys, there's only 3 of you in California.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know, I'm sure you know a little bit more about what I do. I have we sell air purifiers. So you said something about air quality can help determine, your immune system, something like that. Sorry, I'm not using the right terminology, but a stressor. But air quality, what you eat, how much you drink, how the sleep that you get is so important.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me. But I had another question. Food allergies. So for food allergies, why are peanuts so hard? Why is it so common?
Yeah, it's I don't know, this is a bit controversial, but I think it has to do with some of the vaccines, because I believe from what I researched or read, there's like they use peanut oil as the term is adjuvant. It basically draws all of the immune cells there. So I'm not actually well versed enough to speak on it, but I think that could be one of the potential reasons.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm just like, I used to coach basketball and I used to work with tons of kids, and the parents would come up to me, oh, like my kid has a peanut allergy. I was like, I have a peanut allergy too. And so I had to be so aware, meaning to say that it's so common. It's such a common allergy, and it's so unfortunate. Like, I'm allergic to peanuts. My brother is allergic and seafood. My brother is allergic to all nuts. So I guess it depends on like the type of protein the nut has. So he's allergic to all nuts. He's allergic to all seafoods. This is why I'm so intrigued. Like when I go up north, like I need to come see you.
You can see my friend Cheryl or Paula. So Cheryl's in LA. Paula, I believe, is in the OC. But yeah,
Okay.
they're amazing practitioners too. And that's the other thing that I love is that, when I was working for the state, there's always competition. People are vying for different positions. And here with BIE, it's such a community. We have no problem referring people to each other, sharing notes. So if, somebody one of my clients relocated to LA, I just send the notes of everything we've done to the LA practitioner that they're going to see, and vice versa. So we just rely on each other for support, questions, and that's what's so amazing about BIE is just honestly the community around it.
I love that. Mafe said, I need to come see you. And she said, you're so good at what you do. Great experience with you. And that's another thing, when you run a business, yes, you're good at what you do, but also you have to be relatable. You have to have that human connection. If you don't have that human connection with your clients, they probably don't want to work with you. But as I can see, right, I even went on your page. You've been helping so many people change their lives, right? And you're so good with kids too. So you have a lot of kids that you work with.
I do. They love the play area. They love the prize box. So that keeps them pretty happy.
Oh my gosh, how fun. How fun. Okay, so sorry to go backtrack because I didn't really dissect into your story. And I want to know a little bit more about your mom and her journey, because it's very interesting. It's very interesting to know that she had cancer. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of cancer did she have?
Yeah, she was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
stage 4. And then
Mhm.
what was the timeline that she was doing, the procedures holistically? What was the timeline between that? And you knew that she was, cured basically.
Yeah, so she actually started out her journey in 2006. That's when she was diagnosed, trying out the holistic modalities first. And so she was free and clear for, I want to say, about a year before the cancer came back. And part of the reason why the cancer came back is because her lifestyle kind of started to creep back into what she was doing previously.
Okay.
So part of that 10-day detoxification program, what they teach on is basically changing your diet, eating vegan, essentially. And that was really hard for my mom because she was a total foodie. So she ended up getting really sick again. And at that point, she just decided to do chemo. And I saw what that did to her. That just completely ravaged her body. And she ended up passing away in 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay. So with the chemo, you saw what had happened, but she did the holistic journey though, prior
Yeah.
to that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, wow. So that is your big why. That is
Yeah.
your big why. And
Yeah.
I think that, a lot of people, people are not going to believe you not until they actually see you undergo it or you see somebody undergo it, and that is your testimony. That's the reason why, like, I went on your page and like that was like the first thing that I saw in your bio. I was like, wow, she's not just knowledgeable, she went through the emotions, she experienced what it's like to have a loved one go through that, and I commend you so much. And you are such a just a light, and I can already see it just talking to you. Like, you're just so passionate about helping other people. And Moses said, I had the greatest experience and was able to learn more about myself because of Deborah. I love that. I was just with oh my goodness, awesome. So what are your biggest plans? Like, what do you like? How big do you want to grow? Do you want to have other facilities? Like, what is your vision for your business in the next, like, 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I honestly didn't really have a huge vision, to be honest with you, but it wasn't until, I started meeting other clients who were really interested in this and kind of asking some questions about, possibly doing it for themselves. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll send you the information. I don't ever see it as competition because, again, there's plenty of conditions to treat. There's plenty of
Right.
people who need this. We just need more practitioners. And so my husband and I were kind of talking about it, and he was like, hey, one day maybe you could open up an even larger clinic, so that way, and have multiple practitioners. That way you guys can see and treat more people, because there's only one of me in this
Right.
area. Right. And so, at some point it's not going to be feasible for me to see everyone or have a wait list, that's 2-3 months long deep. Right. So I think that's the kind of overall vision and the goal one day, is to have a larger clinic where we have multiple practitioners, and maybe each of us specialize in something a little bit different. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, just have other modalities that we can offer outside of just BIE, because there's so many other things that I love. I love
Yeah.
sauna. I love red light. I love so many, like, ozone therapy. There's so many wonderful modalities out there.
Yeah, I love that. No, talking about red lights, I've had 2 knee surgeries already. I tore my ACL in college, so like
Mhm.
my body is just in pain, like
Mm.
every time like I work out.
Yeah.
But it's like I go to the sauna. I do red light therapy, and like my body feels good, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like it's just a lot of people don't realize you have to be able to control and be aware of like the inflammation that goes into your body, because
Yes.
that sucks and
Yes.
that is a stressor. um
Hmm.
and no, I'm just learning so much now. What do you recommend somebody who is, who has a big allergy, but, let's be realistic, they're not sold into the holistic, method? What would you tell them and how would you ease them into basically really understanding what you do?
I think if you are looking for a true solution to your problem and not just, being given a pill, I think BIE is, a huge answer to a lot of problems. We look at something like anemia, right? So what is anemia? Your body is lacking iron, right? You have low iron stores. So when we work with someone that has low anemia, we wouldn't just introduce the frequency of iron to the body. That is one aspect. Okay, we need to get, most of the time they're not recognizing iron. So we got to get the body to recognize iron. But it's so much bigger than that. We also look at other factors. We look at hepcidin, which is a hormone that regulates how your body utilizes that iron. If your body's not recognizing that hormone, how is your body going to utilize the iron that we just introduced to your body?
Right.
Other aspects too, like, making sure the body recognizes B9 and B12, because those are good for red blood cell production. B12 also helps your body absorb iron. Then we also got to look at your stomach acid. Is that also being recognized? Because if your stomach acid isn't high enough, your body's not going to be able to liberate the iron from that food for you to absorb. So there's multiple things that we look at outside of just, oh, okay, your body needs this, so let's give you this. So we're really looking at it from a bigger perspective.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Huh? Sorry.
I don't know if that answers your question, but
No,
it really just boils down to the person and what they really truly want for their health.
Right. And because I look at your business name, right? Valley Allergy Wellness. You don't just treat allergies,
Right.
And I think, speaking to you right now, I have a way bigger understanding, and I know I've said this already, but way bigger understanding that I feel like you treat, I mean, you're not like a therapist or anything, but you sort of really are. You treat stressors in the body. That's what really is, correct?
Right.
That's that's very interesting, because headaches, you mentioned headaches. You treat people with headaches. You treat people with migraines. You treat people with, I don't know, some probably gut health, maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Talk about gut health. Gut health really intrigues me. How does the how does the gut really affect somebody's mood? Because it does affect mood. It does affect basically even skin, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when, it's funny because gut health was not even mainstream until, like, I don't know, the last 10 years. No one really talked about it and the importance about it. And so, regardless of whether or not you have allergies, gut health is important for your overall immunity, right? Because 80% of the immune cells are in your gut. So, regardless, if you're dealing with allergies or skin issues, if you're dealing with skin issues, usually it is related to your gut microbiome. Whatever, if your gut's messed up, it's going to show up in the skin. So when it comes to working with people with eczema or psoriasis, we work on some of the factors related to the gut, but we also work with things like fats and oils, because fats and oils typically are what the body isn't recognizing. And you need those healthy fats and oils to contribute and make those healthy skin cells. So, there's a lot of factors when it comes to gut in relation to immunity, skin, digestion. And so that's the other thing that we work on. So not only would we look at, let's just say, again, we'll go back to the dairy intolerance. Okay, yeah, you might have an intolerance to the dairy, but we'll also make sure that you have the right enzymes to break down the fats, the proteins in that dairy as well. So like I said, even enzymes and hormones can be sought or looked at as being a stressor to your body. So your body won't produce it anymore. If it doesn't recognize it, it's not going to produce it.
That's so awesome. That's interesting. Because gut health is really everything. Like you said, people advertise, like gut digestion, like those drinks that you see like on the counter at the stores, which is awesome. But I'm glad that people are more aware of, that type of avenue of their health.
Right, right.
And it goes with skin, with hair, with everything. So it's you guys, anybody who's watching this, Deborah does not just treat allergies, she treats whole, like wellness in general, like how to really, be healthy from the inside out. And
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love that. And so any advice for somebody who wants to get into your field, where can they start? Like what should they do? Should they shadow someone? Should they, what program should they look into? Because I'm sure being where you're at right now, it was a journey, right? All that schooling. So what did it truly take for you to get, certified to where you're at right now?
Yeah, because I already had the background in holistic health, even though it's from years and years ago, like I said, I just needed a few more classes, just general classes on nutrition, anatomy, physiology, those type of things. If anyone's interested, they can go to www.bieclinics.com, and that's where you can get a little bit more information about BIE, and then also get connected to the people who will look at your background to see where you're at, see what maybe additional classes that you might need to become to eventually go through the training and become licensed.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Deborah, thank you so much. I learned so much from you today, and I'm just so excited to really tap into my health even more. Red lights, even have a session with you or any of your friends out here in LA, because I just want to give hope to other people. If you are suffering from any allergies, any types of stress in your body, there is hope.
Yeah.
Um, it's not, I have friends, Deborah, they say, oh, I'm lactose, like, so they forever cannot, drink dairy. They forever, I say that to myself too. Every time I go to Starbucks, I'm just like, can I get an oat milk, please? Growing up, I was drinking dairy. Like I was cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, any other last advice to anybody that wants to, have a session with you? Because you never know. I have tons of people from the Bay Area that they can easily go to your office and get a consultation with you, have a session. But I just want you to send a message out there to anybody who has allergies, suffering from any types of illness, even, I don't know, any sickness. How can you help them?
Yeah, if you're suffering from allergies, fatigue, headaches, even just anemia, low iron, skin issues, gut issues, BIE has worked so many wonders for so many people. It's really been a root cause solution for so many people. And it's alleviated a lot of pain, discomfort in their bodies. And all I can say is, it's worth checking out, especially if you've been to doctor after doctor. If you don't have the answers to the solutions that you need answers to, come check it out.
Awesome. I love it. And where can they find you on socials, emails? Where can they see you on like Facebook or anywhere?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook. My handle on Instagram is at Valley Allergy Wellness. And my website also has a lot of information. It's www.valleyallergywellness.com.
Awesome. Well, Deborah, thank you so much for educating all of us, everybody who's on here. Just to remind you all that yes, there is hope. Make sure you guys contact her. Take care of your guys' health from the inside out. Get enough sleep. Stay hydrated. The air quality that you breathe.
Yeah.
Also, and close this off. Make sure you guys contact her and contact, if you're looking for any air purifiers in the local area, contact me as well. I have the Rainbow Business, and it's so awesome because we talked about allergies and now I can educate my clients a little bit more. But Deborah, thank you so, so much. You are so awesome. And I cannot wait to connect with you more. Maybe I have an event in the Bay Area, but
Yeah.
thank you so much. I'll see you guys on my next show. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.